And I'm just going to throw it to Jeff because I'm just going to throw Tuesday
I
apology.
have an important
'cause-
announcement to make, ladies and gentlemen. So, I believe it was last podcast, correct? Last Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had talked about the Eagles and Giants divisional matchup, and I thought it was going to be third time playing the Giants this year. It's going to be
Don't worry, I
it's going
did
to be a
too.
very close matchup and
That was being a
everything.
3-point game.
I did.
And I didn't think it was going to be like 3-point game.
I did.
Yeah, originally I thought it was going to be like 7, maybe 10 points at absolute most. And Brian brought up the idea that it's at least a 10-point plus score, probably more. I was like, well, we'll see. But again, because to be fair, 3 times in 1 year to be in a opponent that's pretty tough, and from Minnesota, I was wrong. The Eagles whooped the Giants' ass, which is amazing. So Brian, it is recorded. So this is my sincerest apology to Sir Brian for being ever so wrong about our beloved Eagles just kicking the shit out of the Giants. So Brian, I'm sorry that your predictions are far better than mine.
Thank you. I will say, though, I didn't think it was going to be that much of an ass whooping.
I didn't think it was.
I
either.
didn't expect that. Watching the game, I still kind of had anxiety, even though we were up 21-0 at one point.
I did too. And
I was with some of my friends, and they're not as avid football watchers, or they still watch it. They don't know it as much or whatever.
Right.
And they're like, Brian, it's 21-0. I'm like, yeah, but if you watch the season, we weren't second half teams. I'm like, if you watch the Dallas game, or we were up and then we almost gave the game away.
Not only that, if you watch the Chargers and the Jaguars game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that too, or the Colts and Vikings, but obviously very different teams. But again,
it's still 30 points. That's a lot of points. You could be the worst team in the league, but they're still all professional football players, all very good. It's like
all technically the best at their positions. Playing in the best league.
So it's at 33 points is still a lot. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
So even we're that's still a lot of points to score. It's just incredible that they scored it as terrible as they let it up. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, but even with those collapses the Eagles had during the season, watching that game and a little bit I did watch it because after a while I just kind of tuned out because the Eagles are winning. There's no need to continue watching after a while. But the Giants just weren't good. I felt confident.
No, Saquon was not even relevant. He had one long play and that was it.
Yeah, and they went for the one early 4th down. Once he didn't get that, they got the ball back. Then he threw a pick. The Giants are done. They're just done.
I think the one
there was nothing to keep them kind of going to just keep that.
Yeah. I think there was a one play very early on when it was at least 7-0, if not even 14-0, where the Giants, they were moving the ball pretty good. It was a 3rd down. It was the 3rd down where the Eagles technically got their first sack, I think, where Daniel Jones just tripped up over his own guy. I think if they got that first down and scored, even just
it may have been a different game there, but I feel like they panicked. They panicked.
But they definitely panicked.
I would
because you just gave I know you're trusting your defense there, but it's like a 4th and 9.
They kind of did what
they gave the Eagles half the field to work with.
They took some interesting chances.
Our defense, and I was texting this to you guys earlier, that I think arguably in the NFL right now, we are the best team outside of the Chiefs. Now, mind you, we have a better defense than the Chiefs, I believe. But I personally believe, being unbiased, I think Mahomes is a better quarterback
for sure
than Hurts. And clearly, Kelsey's better than Goddard.
For sure.
Kelsey's the number one tight end after Gronk. After Gronk left, Kelsey became the number one, clear number one. It's basically Kelsey, Kittle, and then dropped down to Waller or Mark Andrews.
I would say, definitely those two.
I think those two, and then it's everybody else. There's
Dawson Knox is hit or a miss.
I think Kelsey and Kittle are just above everybody else.
There's no chance. No one even touches those two for the rest of the league. Obviously Kelsey's a clear favorite. Now,
Give me one second.
Kelsey, and I would say like instead of it, being here, I would say that Kittle, it's still relatively close, but not nearly. It's not like neck and neck. It's there's a
No.
clear couple
See,
feet
I
ahead.
feel like you can make that same thing with Mahomes because I was even thinking of this earlier. It's like if you think of like the top 5 quarterbacks, like even when the ones we grew up with, we always knew Tom Brady is probably number 1. And number 2
Yep.
was Manning. Like there was no
Peyton,
question
yeah.
of it. But right now, I couldn't tell you who the second best quarterback in the league is right now. Right now, I have Mahomes, and then I think it's a drop off between the next guys.
I think it's Burrow.
I think Burrow is now. After that game, after the
Being
game,
completely unbiased, I think it's Mahomes, Burrow. Then it's Hurts. Then it's
where would you
better than Allen?
Here's an interesting one for you though. Where would you put? I mean, I don't know what to think about this one. Where would you put Justin Herbert versus Jalen Hurts?
Top 5.
Yeah, it's a top 5.
But I'm saying, do you think Hurts is better than Herbert? Though
I think Hurts is better than Herbert.
No.
I'm
not convinced yet of it. I need to see more consistency.
I'm very thrilled with Jalen Hurts' progress this year. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would love to see Herbert get weapons like Hurts.
Yes.
Like they clearly
have some weapons, just not the weapons to the extent that.
And a healthy Mike Williams, for example.
Like give him a healthy Mike Williams. I mean, think about it. You're throwing 2,000-yard receivers. Both Smith and Brown are, I would argue, top 15 receivers. Top 20
easily,
for sure.
Clearly, I don't know if I would put them top 10. I put AJ Brown top 10, maybe.
I would put AJ Brown top 10 and Smith top 15. Definitely top 20, probably top 15, but AJ Brown easily top 10.
I would buy just to be safe, just to give it that cushion, top 20, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Top 20. He's working with 2 of the top 20 receivers, possibly top 15 receivers in the league.
Yeah.
And Goddard is a top 10 tight end.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't really name. I can name out like a top 5, but I definitely can't name out a top 10 for tight ends. I just don't know that many tight ends compared to the wide receivers or anything. But he's definitely a top 10. I'm saying worst case scenario, he's number 10. But
yeah. So I think if you gave, like, if Keenan Allen stayed healthy, type of deal. He was hurt for a while. He stays healthy.
Yeah.
What would that?
Mike Williams stayed healthy.
If Williams stayed healthy, what would that look like? You
got a good running back, and
you got a good running back.
Eckler.
So I mean, if you give him a second, think about it. Eagles have it's kind of like how Dallas has it. Dallas has 2 number 1 running backs, clear number 1 running backs
easily.
Eagles have 2 number 1 receivers. So if you give Herbert somebody like that, then like he's gonna ball because he's good enough to ball.
He will, yes.
Right.
So
I think why he may not is
2,
just because he always has to go up against Mahomes twice a year.
Yeah, top 2. It's Mahomes and it's Burrow.
Then Burrow.
That's what I said.
I was trying. Burrow is just he's ridiculous.
Imagine he's doing this. What he's doing, he's just gone back to back AFC Championship games. If he goes to another Super Bowl, he's done it with a bad offensive line back years.
Yeah.
Imagine if they actually get a good
also
offensive
his third
line.
year.
Yeah.
This is his 3rd year in the league.
And the one year
he's
missed
going
because
to
of
the
ACL
conference
injury.
championship twice out of the 3 years. It's wild to me.
Yeah. If he wins it too.
And he's got weapons too.
Yeah.